Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Miss Coffee here, and today we're back with another beginner friendly tutorial. Today's tutorial is how do I blend color pencils. So before we get started, just a heads up, this is a sketchbook that I'm going to be using for today. This sketchbook comes to you from a good friend of mine. His name is Anthony Wheeler Art. He does have a website where he sells this sketchbook, which I will link down below. It's an amazing sketchbook. It holds markers well. It also holds color pencils well. I want to say it's 100-pound paper, but I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that. Go over to the website and check it out for yourself. He also sells prints and pens and all kinds of cool things, so go check him out. But I'm not sponsored, just heads up. Anyways, so I'm going to show you today how I blend color pencils. First, we're going to do a couple of swatches in this sketchbook, which this sketchbook is called a super awesome sketchbook. And then we're going to go over to that little hand-in-limb book that I use for the marker tutorial. We're going to find an image, and then we're going to color that image as well. So, and as you can see, I do traditional work in this book. We're going to go to a page that's a little bit, I'm going to skip a page to go over here to do some blending. Now, the color pencils that I will be using for today's tutorial are going to be my Arteza. This is the Arteza 72 Expert Pack. I got this pack a while ago, and so that's the set that I'm going to be using. So, to get started with blending, the first thing you want to remember is you want to make sure that the colors that you're blending are like colors. You want to make sure that they're close in color, because if you try to blend two colors like a green and say I don't know, a black or something, it's going to be a little bit harder to blend because those colors aren't really close together. So you want to stick with colors that are kind of close together. So like a light and a dark brown and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out two of my Prismacolor pencils here. I'm going to pick out, actually we're going to pick out three. Because just like with markers, you want a high, a medium, and a low. So so we have Peony and we have Fruit Punch. So that's the dark. I need like a medium color, and I think this one should work. So Fuchsia, Fruit Punch, and Peony are the colors that I'm going to be using for this tutorial. And I'll go through another color when we're done, because I did two colors for the marker, so why not for this one? So when coloring on anything, you want to hold the pencil back further than you would if you were coloring, just because that's going to give you a little bit more of a lighter feathery touch whenever you're laying your base coat down. Okay, so one, you want to make sure your pencils are sharp whenever you're coloring, and two, you want to hold it a little bit further back from where the top of the lead is, because this way you have too much control to be really harsh and hard on it, where if you pull it back like this and hold it, you can have a little bit more of a feather touch, which is what you want. So we're going to go ahead and do a little swatch right here. So I'm just going to lightly lay down some colors, and just to make sure you can see me, I'm going to bring you down into the business here. So I'm going to lightly lay down some colors here, okay? So this is the fuchsia that I'm laying down. And this is a super easy method. Anybody can do it, so try along with me if you like. Then I'm going to take this Fruit Punch. I'm going to lay it just like I did with the markers. I'm going to put it right here. Just nice feathery touch at the bottom there. And see how you barely have to do anything. I haven't barely done anything, and it's already blending together really well. I didn't think they would, but look how nicely it blends. So when you're blending with color pencil, the main thing to think about here is going to be layers. You're going to be coloring in layers. So one layer will not do. You're going to do multiple layers. And so I'm doing small circles to fill in some of those white spots, and you can change direction to hide some of those pencil lines just to make it look a little bit more full. And then I'm gonna go back in with that dark color on the top there. And again, you're doing this in layers. Remember the layers. And you can see already, it's already starting to blend here in the middle, because if you remember, this started this stops right here. Let's do a harsh line right here, right? So that's where the top color started or stopped. And we're going a little bit higher up than that. And you're just gonna do this in layers. You're just gonna layer those colors together to get them to blend. And now let's go in with that lighter color. So we're going to take that Fruit Punch, right? And we're going to do a dark, deep line to show you kind of where it stops, okay? And then we're going to take that lighter color, which is going to be the peony, and we're going to layer that at the bottom here. Now, these Artezas are wax-based pencil, and this blending method will work with any pencil. I want to say wax blends a little bit better in my opinion, just because it has that that coating that it puts on it when you burnish it to make it look a little bit smoother. Whereas like polychromos and stuff don't do that. They're good for like fine details and stuff, but they don't blend as nice as wax pencils in my honest opinion. But that's just one opinion of many. So you can see there that this is already started blending. That harsh line is just telling you where exactly it started. So as you can see, those color pencils blended in super duper nice together. Let me bring it up closer to you so you can see. See how nicely it melts into there? Now, let's try another color combo. Let's do like a purple combo. I like purple. So we're gonna do a lavender. But I wanna go like super, super like kind of off the beaded path here. So we're gonna do different types of purple. So we're gonna that's our dark purple. Eggplant. 2 different types of purple, right? Let's see if we can find a third one that's darker. Maybe this one? This is ultramarine, so super dark. I'm just kind of looking for like a pale purple, kind of like this one. So let's do these 4. How about that? We're going to do those 4. So we have Arteza's ultramarine, lavender, eggplant, and lilac. Now, these colors are close together as they are a type of purple. At least it looks like it to me. So what we're going to do is that first one, ultramarine. We're going to lay it down. Now, this is the same thing you're going to do as if you are doing adult coloring or coloring in an illustration that you've drawn. You're going to lightly add on that base coat, right? This is a blue color, actually. That's fine. We're going to try it anyways. And I'm doing big circles. And again, to fill in some of those gaps, you can change direction. So just go the opposite direction to fill in some of those white spaces that you don't want the pencil lines to show and stuff. And if you're doing it in circles, it shouldn't show like the up and down motion. So I would say just go back and forth. Right? So that's our super dark color, ultramarine. The next color we're going to put on there is lavender, right? So this stopped, and instead of putting that line through it, we're just going to put it right here. We're going to say it stopped like right here, because that's technically where it stops. So, nope, wrong one. So you're just going to make sure it's nice and evenly stopped right there. And then the small circles also will help fill in some of those white spaces when you're coloring. Next, you're going to take that lavender, right? We're going to smack it down like right here. You see where that line is right there? We're going to start it way up there. And we're just going to do the pen. Notice how I'm, oh, sorry, you can't. All right, notice how I'm holding the pencil. I'm not holding it up here. I'm holding it down here by the words on the pencil. I'm holding it back here because it gives me a little bit more control to put less pressure onto the pencil, because we're just laying down right now a light layer of this pencil. And I'm just doing long circular motions, right? Just long circles. We're going back and forth, and we're going to make them a little bit longer because we're going to come down so that we can blend in the next color. And then we're going to do small circles right here where these two blend, or we want that blend to start. So small circles here. Then we're going to bring it down. Next, which color do you think we're going to put down next? We're going to put down eggplant. I think this color might be way off, but we're going to try it anyways. So we're gonna mark where that last one was. So we're gonna start blending here, but it stops like right here. Okay. So we're gonna take that eggplant. Sorry, I gotta move my coffee cup from up here. I can't push my color pencils up. All right. And we're just gonna get stuff off my paper here. I'm just gonna layer that in. So we're gonna do nice long circles. Again, notice I'm not holding the pencil at the tip. I'm holding it way back so I can do some light feathering with the pencil. La 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 la. And you see how it already blended? Like, I didn't think that these two colors would blend. So that's lavender and eggplant. But look how well they blended. And we're gonna go back in with that lavender right on top. Because again, blending is all about layering. You're just layering that color on there to blend it together. And again, if you want to get rid of some of those pencil marks, just go the opposite way. And I'm doing these smaller circles. And again, the trick here is layers and make sure the colors are somewhat close together. So you don't want to go for like a green and something crazy. Like, you want to make sure the colors are close together in color, because then look how nicely they blend. All right. So then we're going to take that eggplant. It stops here. We're going to start blending up there. So far we have the ultramarine. We have that lavender. And then we have eggplant. And you can see the blends there. And we're going to do a little bit more blending up top here with this lavender and the ultramarine. So we're going to take this and we're just going to some light circles down here at the bottom. And then we're going to take that lavender, come back in and layer it on top here. Again, it's all about the layering. It's all about the layering. Light, feathery touch, all about the layering. I have to say, this book actually holds color pencils well. I hadn't tried color pencils in the book yet, so that's another reason why. I plan on doing an illustration in here, and I want to make sure the color pencils are going to hold up nice. And look how beautiful that color is. All right, so next color we're using is lilac. Lilac will go down here at the bottom. We're going to start it there, and we're going to bring it down. So we're going to start right up here. Long, long, long circles. Light, feathery touch, and we're going to kind of fast. Then we're going to take that eggplant again. We're going to come in and do some layering up top here. More into that lilac. Because you want the colors to look like they're infused with each other, okay? You want to make sure that the colors are nicely melted together so that they look really, really good. Now that you've gotten to this point, what you can do is start, if you really want it to have like that smooth look to it, that's where the next part of this comes in. You're going to burnish it. Burnishing it is applying a lot of pressure to it. And again, this works better for me with wax pencils. So notice how I'm not holding it so much on the words anymore. I'm kind of in the middle of the pencil just to be able to put some of that harsh pressure down so I can burnish with it. Now you can use like a blending stump to blend your colors, or solvents like Gamsol. Gamsol is really popular. Baby oil, Vaseline. I've heard of Vaseline. I typically, if I do use solvent, I use Gamsol. But I would much rather just blend the colors like this with the burnishing method, just because it gives you like a smoother look to it. So we're just going to go back and forth here, applying lots of pressure. Then we're going to get that lavender, which goes down here next. And again, we're just going to burnish it. Notice I'm in the middle of the pencil. And we're just applying a lot of pressure here. And you can see where the two are blending in the top there together. We're just going to bring this down a bit. And I'm still doing circles, I'm just doing them a little bit harder. Trying to fill in some of these spaces here. I'm going to come back in with this one. And then right on top there, we're going to blend this here. Because of that wax, it's a little bit more forgiving when you're trying to blend, especially when you're doing a burnishing method like this. Then we're going to take, what color was next? The eggplant color, right? Hold it in the middle of the pencil just so I can get a little bit more pressure put onto it. We're going right up to where that line was. We're just applying a little bit more pressure. And then we're going to take that lilac right in the center of the pencil, apply that pressure so we can get that nice burnish on there. Now, I don't typically burnish a lot of my images. I don't mind it at that first step where you just kind of lightly put it in there. But if you're looking for that smooth look to your coloring, burnishing might be the way to go. Or, like I said, a blending stump. A blending stump will have the same effect. I don't know if I have one close. Let me go check. Oh, don't fuss. It was just a blink. So I do have one of my Arteza blending stumps. So I have all kinds of Arteza products. I really like their products. So for the blending stump, you can do the same thing, except for you're going to apply a lot of pressure. Now, a blending stump is just essentially pressed paper. It's paper that's pressed together that helps you blend your stuff. So where most people, like you'll see artists when they're doing like pencil drawings and stuff, you'll see them smudge it with their finger. This kind of has the exact same effect. So what I'm going to do, so I'm going to come here to this one, and I'm just going to go back and forth with it. Nice big circle. And it's just kind of, and you can see it picking up color on the blending stump. It's just going to smooth it out. So if you don't want to do that burnishing method, I know a lot of people get weary about that because you're worried about breaking your lead or whatnot. You don't have to do that. You can use a blending stump. That way also, if you're like me and have tiny humans and you don't like having all those chemicals with the solvent and stuff around, this is a great way to still be able to blend and not have to worry about like spilling anything or whatnot. You have like this little pressed pencil. And we're just rubbing it on there to get a smooth texture, okay? And look how nicely it blended that together. And it does pick up a little bit of the color on the blending stump. So you can use a blending stump. We're gonna use it the opposite way here. We're just gonna, and this is going to pick up a little bit more of that wax because it is burnished into there. And I'm going to turn it just a little bit so that the blue doesn't mix in with this, these other two colors. And then we're going to go down a little bit and we're going to turn it a little bit. For me, the blending stump just works easier and it gives you a nice smooth blend and not having to essentially, as I like to call it, beat the crap out of your color pencils. Where burnishing doesn't really beat the crap out of it, but I feel like it makes it, I feel like it hurts my pencil and I don't want to hurt my pencils. So I'd much rather use the blending stump. Because you're going to get the same effect. You're going to get that nice smooth look to it. It's going to evenly distribute out that wax to get rid of some of those white spaces in the wax, so like the pencil marks and stuff. So you can still accomplish that nice smooth transition look. Okay, so that's the method. Light pressure first. Then come in with your second color, light pressure again, super light pressure, and then you just want to layer it. So we're going to try one more color combination, and then we'll do a little bit of coloring. But we're going to try like something crazy, like orange or green. I kept saying about green. We're going to try the green and a yellow. So we're going to go from a darker green to a light green to a yellow, okay? So again, light pressure. We're going to apply that green. Then we're going to apply that lighter green, which is almost looks like a mustard on here. And you can see where those two meet up at, because those two colors are like vastly different. And again, you're just layering those two colors. So you get that nice blend there in the middle. Now we're going to come in with that yellow at the bottom. And the yellow is closer to that pea green color, so it should blend nicely. So we're just going to lay that down like so. And we're going to come in with that other color. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't tell you what colors they are. We have pear, we have spring green, and lemon. So we're going to take that pear, we're going to blend it in a little bit more to that yellow. And then we're going to take that yellow, and we're going to do another layer of that to blend it and get it to melt in there all nice and good light. And now we're going to do a little bit of burnishing with that yellow. And as you can see, it blended in there really nicely. Now we're going to come in with this one and do a little bit of burnishing as well. That just means adding a little bit more pressure. And as you can see, I'm going in big circles here. And we're just filling in those lines there. Burnish, burnish, burnish. Then we're going to take that spring green up top here. We're going to add a little bit more pressure to blend it. And look how nicely that blends together. So that is my trick. That's how I blend color pencils. So let's do a little bit of something different. We're going to pick out a coloring page for those folks who like to do adult coloring. So you're working on a piece and you want to figure out how to do blendings. Let me show you. Let me show you how I do it. blend colors. So if you have any questions about how to blend color pencils or anything like that, leave it down in the comments section. I'll do my best to try to answer those questions for you. But literally, it's just a light layer over a light layer over a light layer, and then you go through again and you just keep layering those colors until you get to a point where you can either burnish it or even use a blending stump. So even if we use the blending stump on here, it's not going to do a whole lot. Like, you can of course sharpen this to get the other color off, but if you don't want to burnish, use like a blending stump to smooth those colors out, and that's going to help them blend out better as well. It's going to give you that smooth texture that you might have been looking for. So look how vibrant her eyes look. Love it. We love to see it. Now, like I said, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave those down in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. But with that said, I got to get out of here, folks. So hopefully that was able to help you if you're learning or trying to learn how to blend color pencils. And with that said, I must now bid you adieu, but not before reminding you that it's hard out here in these crafty streets. Please stay safe, wear a mask, wash your hands, don't touch your face in public because that's gross. Keep your 6 feet, and always try to remember to be kind to others because you never know what somebody else is going through. Be courteous because it's the right thing to do, and always stay cool. Bye, guys.